Television's Lost in Space is one series which refutes its own title. It's found a home in the living rooms of America and is into its second season in color on CBS Wednesday nights. The continuing story of a group of space colonizers marooned on a strange planet. This science fiction show is unlike others. It's played with a tongue-in-cheek fantasy and features a scheming scientist, an ultra-genius robot, and a weekly assortment of guest villains and monsters. Lending a balance of normalcy are Major West, three bright children, and their parents, Professor and Mrs. Robinson, played by two very capable performers, Guy Williams and June Lockhart, our guests on this special radio feature. To actress June Lockhart, playing a mother is nothing new. For 6 years, she was in aprons for The Lassie Show. Now she may be in a space suit for the year 2000, but she's still a mother. We asked her if she thinks she's been typecast.
Well, I seem to be typecast in series, but certainly not when I freelance. I've played alcoholics and murderesses and erotic sisters and quite a variety of parts, and, of course, a great deal of comedy, too.
Before Lost in Space, actor Guy Williams felt permanently typecast on a horse. Through numerous westerns, adventures, and as television's popular hero of several seasons back, Zorro. In connection with a horse, Williams recalls a painful experience in his first days in Hollywood.
I was out in the back lot, and they had a new horse there that I liked the look of. And I don't know why, but I just said I want the saddle off him. So they took the saddle off him. And I was riding along, having a marvelous time. And about an hour later, his horse will sweat, if you've ever seen one, it's like this it's soap. It's just foam and froth, and I got very slippery on his back. And off I went, and it took about 8 months to heal so I could work.
June Lockhart's early beginnings were not so dangerous, but still strenuous as a dancer, and she can boast of a very unusual debut on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera at the age of 8.
I was studying ballet at the Metropolitan Opera Ballet School, and they needed a little girl to be in the premiere performance that season of Peter Ibbotson, which was Deems Taylor's English-sung opera with Lucrezia Borri, Edward Johnson, Lawrence Tibbett, and Gladys Swarthout. And so I was chosen from the ballet school to be in it. I did several performances with it and also danced in Die Meistersinger.
Daughter of the famous actor Gene Lockhart, June combined her school days with roles in many movie classics of the 40s, including Sergeant York. And was this combination of schoolgirl and actress a difficult one?
No, because the career was only done as a hobby. My father was quite insistent that I at least finish high school before I went under contract anywhere, and so any of the things that I did were done under the best circumstances, with big productions, excellent directors, in which I'd be able to learn the craft under the finest circumstances. It was like an apprenticeship, but I was always made very conscious of the fact that I was primarily a schoolgirl, and these little extracurricular activities were just sort of a special treat I was permitted to have.
The year 1957 was an important one for both our stars. Coming from New York, Guy Williams eventually won the role as Disney's Zorro and became a star. Going to New York, June Lockhart did her first Broadway play. By season's end, she found herself covered with honors, including the winning of the coveted Tony, Broadway's equivalent of the Oscar. It was both a thrill and a surprise.
First of all, I had always sort of thought of myself as a character actress since the age of 12, and I never ever thought that I'd be the overnight ingenue success on Broadway. I did 260 performances with the play. It was comedy, and it was a marvelous experience, and it certainly pleased my mother and father.
Although highly successful, it was said that acting was not her great ambition. She wanted most to be a news reporter. We asked if this were true.
Oh, my goodness, yes. I love journalism, especially television journalism. I'm very interested in political journalism. As a matter of fact, I did a current events news quiz show for many, many years on television called Who Said That? And I was the only girl doing it with all the White House press, and I made many good friends among them, Merriman Smith and Bob Considine and Bill Henry, H.V. Kaltenborn, Richard Hartnett, and Bill Lawrence, and we really had the cream of the crop. And I inquired at that time if a layman was ever allowed to go out on a presidential campaign with the press to observe the backstage machinations of the running of a political campaign. And apparently nobody had ever asked to go before. So Jim Haggerty, who was Eisenhower's press secretary at the time, arranged for me to go, and I joined them up in Portland. I paid my own way, and it was a marvelous experience. And then subsequently I also went out with Stevenson and did Harlem, Levittown, and Queens in the pouring rain with Dick Nixon one night, too, on a bus. So that was all quite a good experience.
And what does she do for relaxation, at home or during breaks at the studio?
Read, read, read. I love to read. Well, look at what I brought to the studio today. I've got the Daily New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the trade papers, this new book by Mark Lane, Rush to Judgment, Marilyn Smith's 4 Days, Time, Life, and that's just for today, though.
Guy Williams is a reader, too, with an interest in ancient history. He's also known as an excellent chess player. We asked if he had competed in tournaments.
I played tournament chess, yes, against some very good competition. Today I could play, maybe against the average club player I could do all right. But in those days I was playing against top tournament players. But then it was a question of, do you go on with this and become a real chess nut? Do you devote all your time to it?
Both Williams and Miss Lockhart devote all their time to family and acting career, and both are enthusiastic about their very successful television series and its prolific producer, Irwin Allen. This year, Mr. Allen is responsible for some of the most spectacular use of color in television. Visiting the set, one is fascinated by the way-out uses of color. Blue rocks, lavender bushes, red landscapes, orange monsters, and sometimes even green people. And in the middle of all of it stands that scene stealer, that lovable, nameless, futuristic bundle of boats, the robot. From a myriad of fans has come the single question, what is he? Who is he? And now Guy Williams is about to divulge the secret.
The robot is...
No, well, we're not allowed to discuss the robot. That's, Mr. Allen considers that a special effect, and we're not allowed to tell how any of those things work.
Well, we almost found out. However, it's no secret that Lost in Space has a lot of fun in its fantastic misadventures. According to stars Lockhart and Williams,
we have a very, very happy group here. I know lots of people say that, but in this case, it's really true. And we laugh and giggle a great deal because being in this sort of a show, if you weren't able to have fun with it and spoof it a bit, you think, well, you can't take it seriously, you know.
And this show has a little zany quality to it that the other shows didn't have. It's all a camp.
fun, spoof, zany, camp, combined with fantastic special effects, superb quality production, spectacular use of color. These are qualities that bring millions of viewers back every Wednesday night to CBS television for another delightful adventure with the Robinsons. And, after many seasons to come, when they have all been rescued off their bizarre planet, what plans do our stars have for future roles? Well, Guy Williams can do other authoritative masculine roles. But what of the future of June Lockhart, television's eternal mother? What will she do?
Be somebody's grandmother eventually.
This has been Dick Strout reporting from Hollywood.